Hello, hello. Welcome to the Mind, Body, and Tech, the show where we dive into the stories of those reshaping our world. Today, I'm thrilled to chat with Kadi Saadlo. We'll uncover how her hospitality roots fuel her tech innovation, delve into the wellness habits that keep her on the top of her game, and explore the cutting edge tech that is reinventing how we experience hotels. So, let's go. Kadi, welcome. Hello.
Hi, Sana. How are you?
Well, I'm great. Today is Monday, but I'm keeping up with coffee and so on. So, what I wanted to ask you first is what inspired you to transform from hotelier to tech entrepreneur?
Yes, that's a great question. I wondered about that myself also sometimes. So my background comes indeed from the hotel industry. I have worked in the hotels for the past 15 plus years. And I actually like stumbled across this industry very like randomly because I was studying completely something else in the university, but I had like many students are having a part-time job, and part-time job happened to be in a hotel. Working in a hotel reception, I understood that actually I really like working with people. I like making people happy, and this job kind of really well suited me. And actually, not even realizing that, I eventually like started to do my career in the within the hotels. So I kind of transformed from reception to front office manager to operations manager, and suddenly found myself managing two hotels, working as a hotel manager. And due to my age, I guess, and maybe also the way that I'm just set up, naturally very curious. I was always curious about different kinds of technological solutions around us, and I felt that every problem could be solved within the help. Not every problem, but a lot of problems can be solved within with the right technology. And in the hotels, we were I felt that we were kind of like lagging behind the rest of the industries because it was still so manual. We were doing a lot of things manually, like the hotels also today they are doing, especially when it comes to the customer journey and the way that we greet customers. So, like within those hotels that I used to work, we always experienced long queues in the reception during the peak hours. So, one of the hotels was a business hotel where we had a lot of business customers. That meant that basically during weekdays between 5 and 7 p.m., our lobby was full of businessmen, just wasting their time, and we couldn't really provide a good service. And I started to look out for solutions that were available back then. It was about 5 to 6 years ago. And I came across with you. There was really nothing really available in the Baltic states, but all these solutions that that I was looking into, that to kind of digitalize the guest journey, to provide online check-in, to provide mobile key. They weren't really something that I could really start and use in real life, because either they didn't integrate well to our existing systems, or they didn't integrate with our door locks, or they were simply too expensive. And yeah, a couple of years went by. COVID hit the world, and suddenly we were kind of in the place where we were forced to become contactless. And back at that time, one of our IT partners came to me and pitched the idea of what was becoming HotelBuddy later on. Um, and basically I said, yeah, this is brilliant idea. Why don't you go and do that? And we can be one of your first piloting customers. But life took its turn, and in the end of 2020, I actually decided to move away from my home country, Estonia. I moved to Latvia, and naturally, I couldn't be the hotel manager anymore within this hotel group that I was working. So I needed to find a new challenge. And actually, that was then the time when I decided to join this IT guy that I mentioned beforehand, and start working on bringing this solution alive. And this is actually when HotelBuddy started. Back then, we didn't have anything else, just the idea and a kind of vague understanding how to do that, but we didn't have a team, we didn't really have the resources, the money, and then basically almost 3 years ago now we started just building it. Today we have a product, we have paying customers in the Baltic states, and yeah, people, end users, the hotel guests who are actively using our product as well. So we are quite proud where we have come from within those 3 years.
Wonderful. I suppose that life of tech entrepreneur is like full of stressful moments. How you keep the positive mindset?
Yeah, I completely agree that this is quite challenging to always be kind of on top of your game. And I mean, if you're a startup founder, then it is so many challenges all the time kind of thrown at you. Me personally, I find that what really keeps me to balance out the mental stress is physical workouts. So I try to always every day find some time to do something physical, like it can be a walk or a run in outside in the streets or in nature, or a gym workout or something where I can actually move my body and kind of switch my mind off from work, because naturally as an entrepreneur you are thinking of work like 24/7. Basically I am, even dreaming work. So yeah, this is the kind of the dark side, I would say.
Yeah, but you pumped with this idea. You have this intrinsic motivation, right? Doing this, and sometimes at night or during weekend and so on. Yeah, you cannot do this all the time, but yeah, it's a wonderful thing if we, for example, think about corporate environment when you work some hours, but do you have this intrinsic motivation to jump from your bed and go and build something? No, you don't, probably. So, yeah, entrepreneurship has its like positive things and negative things, but there's no such thing as ideal job, sadly. So, can you share some probably you have some sort of frameworks how you solve problems in your startup.
Mhm. Well, yes, absolutely. So basically, we're a team of three co-founders, and actually, what I really like the way that our team works. Whenever like we have a problem, we always discuss it, and we try to together find the best way how to solve this. So of course, the fact that you have a group of people or a team working together with you, it always helps, because like at least in Estonia we have a saying that two heads are two heads, or it's kind of better. So meaning is that it is more simple to figure out solutions to problems when it's not just you to get that insight. And when we look at the problem, oftentimes we are presented like a problem which is but the like this is not a problem, but this is the kind of the symptoms or the outcome of the problem. And then you have to step back sometimes and understand where is actually the problem coming from. What are the root causes? And sometimes that what seems to be a problem is actually not a problem, but there is something else like down in the root kind of causing that. So and this is a symptom that that is kind of being shown to us. So we always like to take a step back, discuss it within the team, and then understand if we have the resources right now to fix this problem, or there's just something that we have to live with for a while until get to that level, because you cannot always solve all the problems at the same time. And sometimes, when you start solving a problem which seems like very kind of like high priority issue, you're kind of losing the big picture. So you always have to look at the big picture and also understand that, okay, we are currently in this phase where we are, and we cannot fix all the problems we would like. It's just sometimes you need some more time, you need to advance, and so on. So that is something that personally for me was quite challenging, I think, because I think I am considering at least to be like a perfectionist, at
Mm.
least in some levels. So, kind of just to accept that, okay, there's nothing to do with this. This will have to be like it is right now because these are the circumstances. In the beginning was very hard for me. But yeah, during the time I just became kind of, you know, uh, in terms with these kind of solutions or these kind of situations. So it gets better.
Mm.
And
Uh,
also
y-
like, yeah.
yeah, please continue.
No, one more thing that I just had the idea of, that for me what was like very challenging, to understand as a beginner entrepreneur in the tech space, was that, I am not my company. So each time when we had a problem within the company, or that's something you're facing, kind of in your daily life every day. But I was always kind of blaming myself and putting myself responsible for each and every problem, and thinking that, okay, I am the CEO of the company, so naturally I need to solve this problem. And I really, really, like I would say maybe 6 months ago, I went down on a negative spiral because of some of the issues we were having with the company, and kind of mentally really suffering because of that. And then I came to the understanding that, it is not just you. This is normal. These things happen, and you shouldn't put yourself down, or blame yourself for some things that actually you don't have any kind of like you cannot really change, or the outcome doesn't depend on your output
Mm.
oftentimes. So that was kind of my personal challenge also with solving the problems.
Hmm. Well, actually, what I've seen, for example, from serial entrepreneurs, the more you build, the less perfectionist and less like thinking about
Mm.
what you did wrong you have. So it's probably like with children. When you have one, you like 100% into this child, and then you have second and third and so on. It's something like that. It's your business startup is like your child, so you need to be good parent, right? So you need to be the best, you need to give the best, and so on. And it's very hard mentally, and totally get that. Probably you have something to share how you coped with that situation that you have, what tools you used or routines.
Hmm. Yeah, so actually, I am in the middle of solving kind of a mental challenge of my own. So
Mhm.
for the past, I would say maybe 1+ years, 1.5 years already, like I have problems with sleeping, which I never used to get during my corporate job. But this is what I have been dealing with. So yeah, one thing that I have found very, very helpful personally is the physical activity. On those days where I'm physically very active and getting my mind off from the work stuff, then I definitely sleep much better. And I can immediately understand when like I don't have the time, or I don't prioritize the workouts, then it is going to affect my sleep. And yeah, so that's why I'm trying to right now prioritize myself, and my well-being much more than I used to, because I was always, and I think, to a certain extent I'm still doing that, putting the work and the career on the first position. But actually, like, the the threat is that if the entrepreneur is doing that, and they are actually losing kind of themselves into that, or not taking good care of themselves, eventually this is going to affect their company as well. So, there's the saying also that you always have to put on the oxygen mask to yourself
Yeah.
before you can help anyone else. So I think this goes also very well, like, in business. So this is something that's, for me personally, has been very hard, because I think naturally I'm always inclined to be kind of a people's pleaser, and always, like, for me it's very hard to say no, or kind of draw the border. Okay, like, now this is my personal time, I need to take the time off and do something else. For me it's very easy just to continue working, for 10, 12, 14 hours a day, and then suddenly realizing that, okay, I really haven't done anything for myself, or for my family during this time. So yeah, for me, yeah, physical exercise, meditation has been something also that has really helped me, and kind of mindfulness, just taking that moment and thinking. And actually also, like I mentioned before, how we are solving the problems is kind of taking the step back and trying to understand the big picture. I think here is the same case, like, just take a step out and try to look at the picture like you were a third person, and try to
Mhm.
then, like, see, okay, does it make sense that I am working like this, or doing like this, and worrying like this, or maybe in the big picture, or in the long term plan, it's not so necessary. So sometimes this is really helpful. And I think also one thing that has personally really helped me is talking and sharing my sharing my situation with my close ones. My boyfriend is very supportive. He's always listening whenever I am having a trouble and giving me advice. So I think kind of like letting off that steam, or discussing your problems with someone else, is also very, very helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Probably you have some routines, for example, morning or evening routines, how your day goes. And for example, if you have some great days when you are on your peak performance, and you analyze how you like start your day and then continue it, and you like very happy at the end of the day. So can you share something like that?
Yeah, actually, the best mornings, or the best days for me, are always when I have started with a workout, or even like with a walk outside in the nature, just, and got myself active. Unfortunately, because of my sleeping issues, sometimes it's simply not possible. Or I have like very early meeting, and I simply cannot get up at 5 because I have just fallen back asleep around 5 o'clock. So this is something that I still need to work on. But whenever I have a nice workout, or do something physical, and take some time for myself, this always gives this kind of positive uh, uh, kind of view, or for it kind of affects the entire day positively. But one thing that I always do is that whenever I get ready for the day, and I do my morning coffee, I put on makeup and so on, I'm always listening to normally some podcasts. So I like
Mm.
to listen podcasts about mental well-being. Actually, this is a great interest of mine. Or like some, shows like the Diary of the CEO, and with some inspiring guests. And this always also sets the mood, or this kind of gives me some inspiration for the day, and to listen about the challenges that the other entrepreneurs, or like influential people have had. That also helps me to think that, okay, I'm not the only one. It is actually
Yeah.
normal. So this is
I
very
love this
inspiring
too.
for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, when you see that these great people, incredible people have had the same problems that you have right now, basically, and they just keep going and keep doing and like keep on, and you start to have this additional resource from inside of
Hmm.
you, like, okay, I can do this too. So yeah, I feel that it's a wonderful thing. Probably you can share what podcast do you love to hear, to listen.
Well, as I mentioned, I like to listen the Diary of the CEO.
Hmm.
Recently, I have discovered a neuroscientist called Tara Swartz, and I just started listening to her own podcast. Plus, I've really listened on to her like appearances on different podcasts as well. Some Mind Valley podcasts are very interesting for me as well, and yeah, and I actually on also on the side of well-being, I like to listen different kind of like fitness podcasts and like running. I took up running a few months ago, so I'm really interested about that. So it depends kind of like what day or what feeling I am having, and then I will just choose something like, yeah, to do with mental well-being, neuroscience, or then physical well-being or running, fitness motivation, something like that.
Hmm. Thanks. It's great. What about like like you mentioned, you have the problem with this your sleep. Have you tried some unwinding routines? Have you tried something like you mentioned that you are on the path to figure it out, but maybe something work already works for you?
Well, I just had a chat a few weeks ago with a friend of mine, and she suggested me to look up this tapping method. I don't know if you have heard about the tapping method yourself. So it's kind of to do with the vagus nerve, which is
Mm.
like the central nerve of our body and the nervous system. So it helps to relax that nerve. So it's kind of like you tap here, like these certain points of your body. And
Mhm.
it's so funny that like when in the beginning when I saw that and she showed me that, I was like, no, this cannot work. But actually I have understood that whenever I feel kind of anxiety or I cannot sleep, then I just kind of use the tapping method, and it really works. I have no idea how, but it does work.
Wow.
So it does
Interesting.
help me to calm down and kind of relax. And yeah, different kinds of breathing methods as well. Like this box breathing, this helps me
Mhm.
to relax as well. And yeah, oftentimes just getting my head or my mind off from work, and then just thinking about some relaxing things or nice things. So these kind
Mm.
of techniques is what I normally use. And yeah, I try to stay off from my phone as well as much as possible before the evening. So try to read a book or something like that. So instead of the bluish screen, which is of course not very good for the sleep.
Yeah. Have you tried some other except like running or walking? Have you tried some other methods to stay energized, to stay like in your game when you, for example, right now it's almost to winter, so it's I don't know how you go outside to run. So do you have a plan for the winter? How you gonna keep up with your routines, with your energy?
Actually, I normally also run outside during the winter time.
Mm,
Sometimes, of course, when it is very, very cold here in the Baltics, it can be minus, 20 sometimes,
yeah.
then it is not so good. But yeah,
So you
for
are
the
this
past few.
person when that is running all year, like when it's hot, when it's cold. So you are this person. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
because I prefer running outside. I don't like running on a treadmill so much in
Mm,
the gym because I just simply think it's so boring. but running outside, and I can see different kind of places and people, and it's kind of more inspiring for myself. So in Estonia, we have a saying: "There's no such thing as bad weather. There's only bad clothing." So I think this is the key for the success, that you just need to understand, okay, what kind of weather is it outside, and understand when you're moving, you're going to expose some heat. So you don't actually have to wear so warm clothes when you go out. But yeah, and then layered clothing and good running shoes. But yeah, I'm also, because I come from these countries and I'm used to the streets being very slippery during the winter time. So for me, it's not really a big issue to hold the balance. But for example, my boyfriend, who's from Denmark, and they don't have really those big minus degrees during the winter times, and they are not used to the icy roads. He has much more trouble keeping a balance, for example. So he cannot even imagine how I'm going outside and running in the winter. And of course, it's not so fun, maybe, but after the run and then getting a hot shower afterwards, I feel it's just so super nice. But other techniques how to relax is definitely, reading, just winding down, maybe taking a hot bath. I like studying, so I recently started taking courses of Chinese medicine. So this is something that personally really kind of helps me to relax. Maybe it doesn't work for everyone, but yeah, this does the trick
Wow.
for me. And yeah, basically, like, everything that gets my head off from work, for me, tends to be kind of relaxing.
Mm, nice one. So let's talk about some tech. Has How has tech changed the way you approach the hotel industry? What do you think? Like, I suppose several years for 3 years for HotelBuddy, a lot of change, right? COVID helps that, but probably you can dig deeper.
hmm Yeah, maybe I will firstly explain what is HotelBuddy, because I don't think I actually mentioned that in the beginning. So HotelBuddy is all-in-one platform that enables the hotels to digitalize the guest journey. So basically, what it means is that the hotels can have their customers check in online. They can send them different communications. Um, the guests can order extra services, room upgrades. They can pay for their stay. They can manage their whole stay via a web-based application. So they don't need to download anything. Everything that they need for the stay, or if they need to get the digital room key, they need to speak with the receptionist, so on and so on. They can just do it from their own smartphone. So that means that the hotel guests do not have to queue up and waste their valuable time. When they enter to the hotel, they can just simply, check in within a couple of minutes, get the room key, and go to the room and start their stay whenever their destination is. And for the hotels, it is giving them much more free time now, when the customers are actually kind of doing the job, to really use their staff for the most meaningful engagements. So or in some cases, actually even reduce the number of staff for these jobs. And basically, yeah, COVID was kind of interesting time for us. It was back in 2020 and 2021 when we actually started to build the product. And for the first 6 or 7 months, we were solely just developing the product. We launched in the late 2021, and then COVID, kind of during the summer months, it had been going kind of better, and we saw less and less cases. But the autumn 2021, it hit again, and of course, it was quite a struggle to sell a solution that is meant to digitalize the guest journey when the hotels do not have any guests, because the travel were banned.
Yeah.
In some countries here in the Baltics, there was actually quite big restrictions on travel. So the hotels really lost a lot in occupancy, plus a lot of hotels were actually closed. but we still actually managed to find customers. And 2022 was really a great year for us, where we grew very rapidly. We also raised our first investment round from the investors. And yeah, things were looking up. This year again has been a little bit slower due to of course, the war situation in Europe and recession that the hotels are going through. But yeah, overall it still is a positive year, and kind of, I think what we are seeing now, we're just in the beginning of this whole digitalization in the industry. Hotels are quite notorious of being very slow adapting to changes, and it will just take time with them. But I don't think really there's no doubt that within the next 5 to 10 years, most of the hotels will be using an online check-in solution of some sort. So yeah, looking quite interesting for HotelBuddy right now.
Yeah, sounds great. Maybe you can share what applications or what tools do you use for your for balancing work life, for like optimizing your work. Do you have something to share on this?
Well, I do wear an Apple Watch, so of course, I'm relying quite a lot to that. So I am looking at my steps, my daily kind of caloric expenditure, and seeing, okay, I haven't done enough exercise. Sometimes I just go out and just do like an hour walk. I At some points I'm also putting my caloric intake into my fitness pal. So that's an application that I have used heavily as well to give me better understanding of my nutrition, and also making sure that I'm hitting my macros. So this is a very nice application. Personally, I also use, of course, YouTube and Spotify to follow my favorite podcasts. And yeah, what else is there for personal reasons? Well, I guess Netflix, of course, but I'm actually not watching TV so much. So I don't even have like a TV package or anything. So whatever I want to consume, then I just find like provider for that. Is it HBO or Netflix or YouTube? So yeah, I'm kind of trying to restrict the amount of content that I am consuming personally.
What about work? What do you use?
Well, we use actually a lot of technologies for the project management in the development team. With the development team, we use the Atlassian products. So there's Confluence and Jira. Then for the sales team, we use HubSpot. For marketing purposes, we have used different platforms. Currently, we have our website built on Wix, so we are using the Wix's own marketing platform to send out newsletters and so on. This is actually pretty good. Which other? Canva is in use every day for different kinds of social media
Yeah.
designs and so on. Figma as well. Yeah, I guess these are we have used Miro as well for project management, Trello that I used for a period of time. So yeah, I think we are using quite a lot of different technologies to kind of manage and plan our days. And
Do you
one like
work?
personal.
You have a small team, I suppose. Is it remote or you work in the office?
Yeah, it's hybrid work. We're quite a small team right now. We used to be 11 people, but this year we scaled down the team because of we saw that the kind of the fundraising wasn't so easier. The market is quite slow right now, so we decided to kind of lean out the team and extend our runway as long as possible. And most of our team are based in the office in Tallinn, but we do also encourage people to work remotely. I personally, I live in Riga, so I am working remotely most of the days, but I do also try to travel to Tallinn about every 2 weeks or sometimes even every week, because there are simply just some things that you have to do face to face or personally. It is better, especially if you're the CEO of the company. But yeah, in our work, it is possible also to do fully remote work depending of the position. So yeah, I would say we are a hybrid company.
Hmm. Well, what's next for Hotel Buddy? What is your next big milestone?
So right now we are validating our new go to market strategy. We are entering some new markets, and we just started this very exciting partnership with one very large IT company in Finland. Um, and also we have partners in UK, in Mauritius, in Netherlands, Italy. So this is all looking very promising. Basically, our next milestone would be probably hitting, I would say, approximately maybe 5,000 rooms on the market, and also in the beginning of the next year, we are going to announce our seed round. So probably also fundraising for that, and hitting that goal will be one of the big milestones for us.
Mm. Wow, sounds very promising. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending time with us. And you're incredibly busy, as all of my guests, basically. So thank you. I really appreciate your time and you sharing your routines, your everything, your experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Sana. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe.